Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I wanted to go over the most recent filing in the Katie Joy and Tati Westbrook lawsuit. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alrighty you guys, so this document was actually filed yesterday, January 26th. Today's the 27th. Please keep in mind, I am not an attorney. I am just a girl with an opinion. But I figured that I would share this with you guys, but more importantly, I want to share my opinion on something that's being echoed a lot in the commentary community on YouTube regarding this lawsuit and things that might happen in the future. I did touch on this a couple of months ago, but now that it's coming back up, I wanted to sort of reiterate my points. So let's get started. Now, I always encourage you guys to correct me if I'm wrong and always share your opinions as long as you're doing so in a constructive manner. You're not being mean-spirited or anything. This is a video where I specifically want to hear from you guys. We always have great conversations in my comment section, but I'm very curious because when I read this document, I actually took it as a positive and not a negative. You guys let me know what you think, but let me get into the document and then I'll kind of share with you guys why I think it's a positive. So like I said, this was filed on the 26th and it says plaintiffs proposed alternative to filing records under seal. I think when this initially came out, a lot of people thought, oh, well, they're just gonna keep everyone quiet from talking about the lawsuit. Nobody's allowed to talk to it. This is what Katie Joy is doing, and this is how she's going to keep everyone quiet. Based on what I'm taking from this, that is in fact not what's happening. So the document goes on to say Local Rule 5G1 states that a party must explore all alternatives to filing a document under seal. Local Rule 53B further states that a motion to file under seal must set forth the reasons for keeping a document under seal, including the explanation of the legitimate private or public interest that warrant the relief sought, the injury that will result if the relief sought is not granted, and why a less restrictive alternative to the relief sought is not sufficient. Defense counsel wishes to file documents under a seal that he claims disclose proportioned mental health issues of a third-party witness. Of course, we don't know which witness they're talking about specifically, but if you guys remember, all of that really, really dark stuff went down on Twitter. I think it was last week or the week before last. Kind of all my days are blending together right now. But there was some really, really bad, hurtful stuff that was going down on Twitter, and I know that there was a witness to this case. Based on what I gathered, there was a witness who was going through some very, very hard mental health issues, and I think Twitter was tied in somehow. It's very hard because we don't know the witness's name. So all it is a witness. Are there more than one third-party witnesses? Like, who are we talking about? I don't know. Plaintiffs agree that the disclosure of such information should not be made public. However, plaintiffs' concern is that should defense counsel file a motion to seal said documents and fail to meet the high burden imposed by the local rules as to the sealing of the documents, that the contents of said documents containing such private information about a third-party witness would automatically become public. As such, pursuant to Local Rule 53B, a less restrictive alternative exists that otherwise does not place a third-party witness's information at risk for becoming public. So what I'm taking from this is that there will be more things. I don't think I don't think everything is just going to be under seal and nothing is going to be discussed. But I do think that they are going to do a better job of redacting documents that come out to the public and making sure that certain people's private information is kept private. Me personally, I look at that as a very good thing. I think there's a line between being a public figure and putting your face and your name and your information out to the world, you know, on YouTube or Instagram or whatever information you decide to put out. But then there's other people that can be roped into situations like this. They don't need or deserve their name or their private information to be put out on Twitter. These documents are being shared with up to millions of people, depending on the, you know, saturation of who's seeing it. So it's very worrisome to have someone feel like they are scared or in danger. So that's why I was saying, for me, I'm taking from this a very good thing. You guys, please tell me what you take away from this, because again, I am not an attorney. I don't study law, never have studied law. But when I see that they're trying to protect a witness, I take that as a good thing. Maybe I'm just looking at it as very black and white, and maybe I'm incorrect. But if this is saying what I think it's saying, I see this as a firm positive, that they are trying to protect a witness from having all of their information spread all over Twitter and YouTube and things like this. It goes on to say, specifically because the court has inherent authority over its proceedings and the ability to spare a non-party witness public embarrassment, plaintiffs respectfully propose that defendants submit the sensitive information at issue for in-camera review. This can be done via email from defendant's counsel to the court and plaintiff's counsel with the confidential documents attached thereto. This is a less restrictive alternative to achieve the result of the disclosure of a third-party witness's private and sensitive information. Despite plaintiffs proposing a less restrictive means of submitting sensitive information, plaintiffs wish to make it clear that plaintiffs do not stipulate that the documents are appropriate for use or filing in this case by defense counsel. As such, plaintiffs hereby expressly reserve any and all right to object to the submission and use of such information, and to otherwise argue against the proposition for which defendants are submitting such information to this court. So again, keeping in mind that I am not an attorney, what I took away from this is that they are trying to protect people who are just witnesses and don't deserve to have their information being circulated in Instagram DMs, emails, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever these documents are. So I think that it's a good thing. I don't look at this as, you know, Katie trying to put everything under seal and nobody gets any information. But again, I'm opening the floor up to you guys so that we can have a discussion. If I'm totally wrong, I have no problem coming back and saying, you know, that's not what the document meant. That was, you know, my opinion was skewed and I was misinformed. I will correct myself, but I look at this as a positive, because if I was a witness in this case, I would not want my, you know, full legal name or the city and state where I live or anything like that just floating around the internet. The other thing that I want to talk about really quickly are the changes that could be happening to the commentary community as a result of this lawsuit. I've seen a lot of fear-mongering, in my personal opinion, based on, by the end of this lawsuit, the whole commentary community on YouTube is going to be changed and nothing will be the same in the commentary community. Nobody will have, you know, rights to their opinion. You're not going to be able to talk about any public figure unless you want to be at risk of being sued and all of this kind of stuff. Everything is going to change because of this lawsuit. I don't look at things like that at all. I've said in many videos that as a commentary channel, no matter the size of your channel, no matter who you discuss on your channel, I think one of the things that commentary creators need to remember is that Katie is in this position because she went the extra mile. I always say she was digging to the center of the earth because I think that's what she was doing. But for today, we'll say she went the extra mile to dig up personal information on not only Tati, who was a public figure, but also her husband James, alluded to some really bad things about Tati's husband, and also discussed, you know, Tati's legal name and kind of like threw shade. We all know the story. The reason that she's in this situation is because she ignored 4 C&Ds. She was reporting opinions as facts, and she had it out for Tati. It's different when you're covering someone and providing commentary. You could look at the same example as look at Peter Mon and how often he talks about Jeffree Star. He talks about Jeffree a lot, and he admits that and he owns it. But you don't see Peter Mon, you know, like when Jeffree was with Nate, you didn't see Peter saying, oh, well, you know, Nate got rid of his brother so that he could get some money, or, you know, because they don't have any credit. Just keep in mind, do not subscribe to fear mongering if you are a commentary channel, no matter who you're talking about. It's the way that you deliver your opinions, and it's making sure that you are not bullying someone or harassing someone or doing your best to go above and beyond in order to bring information to the table that doesn't belong at the table in the first place. I realize that there's a lot of YouTubers that are, you know, small like myself, and they like to share their opinion, but because some of these other creators are saying, well, the commentary community is going to be ruined, everything's going to be completely different, all thanks to Katie Joy and Tati Westbrook, don't necessarily believe everything that you hear. I think that this case at this point is so grandiose, and there are so many commentary channels discussing Katie and this entire lawsuit situation. I hate to see that many people discussing this while also continuing to spread false narratives and misinformation, because that's exactly what Katie did. And that's why people can't stand her. So even if it's a commentary channel discussing her, who nobody likes, or, you know, very few people like her as a YouTuber, that still doesn't make it okay for you to spread misinformation and, you know, try to run with this narrative that everything is Katie's fault, everything's going to change, no more commentary on YouTube, everyone's going to get sued. That's just not what's going to happen. And we all have to remember that Katie's actions is what got her here. Katie ignoring 4 warnings is what got her here. So I just wanted to say that, you know, it's been something that I've seen and it's been on my mind. So I did want to share my opinion on that. Make sure that you're reporting things in a fair way and not, you know, harassing or bullying or belittling a creator, and I think that you'll be just fine. That's all that I have for you guys today. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment, and if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.